I have a need for Mr. Deeds.
The Gary Cooper movie?
No, the Adam Sandler remake. You have a way better Jesse impression than me.
I don't know, I haven't done it in a while.
Hey, audience, bitch. We're gonna talk about Need for Speed, yo. I don't wanna cook today, yo.
Mr. Audience, I'm Ryan Wright, bitch.
And my name's Jerry, yo.
Welcome to Reasons to See, bitch.
Where we give you reasons to see.
And not to see, bitch.
Need for Speed.
So you and I are gonna hang out. Bitch.
Bitch.
Okay, so we saw a movie.
Yeah.
A movie that will never leave my mind.
A movie and a half.
It's like one movie plus half of another movie and a bunch of other genres too.
Yeah, no, it's like 6 movies.
And we are of course talking about Need for Speed. And I am so excited to talk about this film.
Yeah, a little bit.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
It was one hell of a good time. I'm telling you that right now. Fuck the 23 or 24% on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie is entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, this movie doesn't give a fuck about anything resembling logic or physics or consistency of any kind, keeping to a tone. It's just a free-for-all of ridiculousness, and that is the reason to see it. Like, it's...
Yeah, and then like whatever genre they're trying to do at that time, they commit to it with every possible way, especially the music in this film.
You know, it really does have the spirit of like of a kid in high school who got his friends together because they loved cars, and they were like, okay, we're gonna do this scene, and it's like really intense because because he died, so we're gonna put some intense music. Yeah. Now, dude, you should get naked. You should get naked in this part. All right, it's gonna be really funny. Hey, I like that Linkin Park song. Let's go put it over the really intense part because it's gonna be so cool, right? Like
the actual composed music was just ridiculous. Like, oh my god, like every scene, like a scene would start out, just be like, okay, this is a good dialogue we got going on, and then they blast some super heavy dramatic music.
Every other scene
Yeah.
is the height of drama.
Yeah. It's either a heroic song, a journey of growth, or like heavy ass shit.
It's like before anyone's even lost anything, that the official theme song of "We've Triumphed but with so much loss" comes in. This movie like really earnestly seems to believe in how important it's trying to be.
Oh yeah, no, this movie does not have like a sense of humor about itself, but yet it's really funny and really entertaining.
Yeah, not in a way like a Transformers movie takes itself way too seriously, but it's just like this film really commits to everything. It's like it believes everything is as heavy and has as much gravitas as it thinks it does, but in a way where it's totally like, oh, you guys.
By the way, there's a lot of scenes where you're like, why did they just do that? Doesn't matter. Didn't need to do that.
Thousands of lives are endangered just cuz.
Yeah, and it would be a lot easier if they just did it the regular way. Okay, example number 1. There's this one point where they're like, we need to save time. So they fill their gas on the freeway and they play the most triumphant music when they do it. And then like 10 minutes later, they're stopping at a gas station all of a sudden. And you're like, why didn't they just get the gas then? Who needs to save that much time? It's 2.5 minutes of your life.
I rarely ever say this because it's rarely ever actually true, but this movie really kind of just doesn't make any sense, really, because like I couldn't actually tell what that scene was about. It was like they did that gas thing on the freeway and they kept talking about this is gonna add time to the trip, but it's gonna be a shortcut, we don't have time, and then all of a sudden they're gassing up. I don't quite know why. He's driving this Mustang across the country. I don't quite know why anybody agreed to let him do this, but he's doing it.
Okay, first off, Aaron Paul, he is awesome.
Yeah, he can act.
And
he
can be a leader. I mean, the editing, okay, first, the editing of this is a little fucking weird. And
everything is a little fucking weird.
The editing of it would sometimes make Aaron Paul look like he's doing a cheesy job, but he's not. It's the editing of it, where every time they cut back to him and he's just like looking up at you, and he does this like squint thing with the one eyebrow. Mr. White. It's always his teeth and his eyebrow. Yeah. But yeah, Aaron Paul, you know, he's the lead. He plays Toby. He makes a good Toby.
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the few people who can convincingly be a Toby.
He's the only really good actor in this film, actually. Like,
yeah.
They hired the worst actresses for this film. Like, they are not good actors. But Aaron Paul, he's great. He has moments where he's playing off Tony Stark's Stark's dad, where you're like, Tony Stark's dad is like the villain of the story. He doesn't play Tony Stark's dad.
This is Marvel.
Yeah. Okay, that villain just cheesy as fuck. Like, he's just a dick.
Yeah,
he's just like an annoying
An
douchebag.
asshole.
Yeah, you're like, how did this pompous asshole get to be where he's at? And why do people like him? And why do people respect him? And why is this idiot wife with him? Like, it was just so dumb. Oh man, but the villain, you don't like him not because, oh, he's so scary and evil. It's because you're like, he's just a dick.
Yeah.
And I want to see him get punished for his dickish ways.
Yeah, a little bit.
And like, there's this one moment where Aaron Paul and him, they have a confrontation after Aaron Paul hasn't seen him in a few years, and Aaron Paul is doing such a good job. He's like freaking out. He wants to hurt him. It's so real. And then you got this cheesy other actor who's playing the villain.
I didn't think he was necessarily like a bad.
I thought he was bad.
This movie makes it, at least for me, really hard to tell which performances are good or not because so many other things get in the way. You got crazy ass music to distract you, and then you've got weird editing to distract you. And so I'm like, I can't tell now because the movie itself is so cheesy that I can't tell whose acting is just matching the movie or is legitimately anything.
My favorite actor in this is Michael Keaton.
Yeah, he is so
Michael
good.
Keaton steals the show whenever he's on screen.
Yeah.
He's got like his own video podcast thing going on where he's able to put together illegal street races and the guy never gets arrested. So why does he get away with
It
all
doesn't
that?
matter.
It does not make sense.
The movie
There's
doesn't
so
care.
much it doesn't make sense, but it's always entertaining. Aaron Paul has a little posse, and there, it includes a black man. This black dude, right? He plays a black guy. That's why I'm saying that, because that's pretty much the role they give him. And
They're like, okay, I've been feeling like every scene was like, okay, Aaron, this is like, you spent 2 years in prison over this guy, and then you just got back in the team. You're really intense. Cuddy, you're black. I gotta imagine black people are kind of upset about it.
And he's like a professional liar, and I don't know, he has like a license for every kind of aircraft you can conjure up. Like out of nowhere, he just has like an army plane, and then he has another helicopter. It doesn't make sense how he gets access to all this. How did he get the news?
70% of the plot in this movie is made possible by somebody down the line just not really caring about their job. Not even on screen, but just like whenever a major event, it's like, why did they have 2 cement mixers? Probably because someone was just like, yeah, alright, take him. Why is he flying an army helicopter? Because his friend was like, yeah, sure. That's why everything in this film is made possible.
Oh yeah, that one point where Tony Stark's dad was like, I'm gonna make a deal for you. Here's my offer. And the guy's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like everybody in this movie is like, yeah, alright.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll agree. If it moves the plot along, yeah, sure, we'll do it. I like the supporting cast though. Like, I like Aaron Paul's team. Like,
Yeah.
they were kind of in a different movie because they were kind of like
Everyone is.
comedic and stuff. But there's this one guy, I don't know the actor's name, but he's got like these huge fucking eyeballs. He is funny in this film. I thought he was a delight to watch. Overall, it's a really entertaining film, and of course, how can we not mention this? The fucking car chases and
Those
car
are
races.
legit.
Those are great because it's not like Fast and Furious out. I like those films, but it's not like all crazy special effects and stuff. It's not ridiculous. It's grounded in reality. You can tell there were people really driving these cars. They weren't doing stuff that was totally like out of this world. Like, yeah, right. Yeah, like overall, it's like no. You could tell they were using real vehicles the whole time. The most expensive vehicles ever.
It is really cool to see a movie that relies heavily on stunt drivers, and from what I've read, the crashes are like, shells, like it's actual practical crashing, practical racing, a lot less, of that CG stuff. And it's odd that it's in this movie, but it's cool to see. Like, I'm glad there are still people doing that and who still value that kind of, octane.
The main reason you're gonna go watch this movie, it's fucking called Need for Speed. By the way, major disappointment for me. Aaron Paul does not say Need for Speed at one point, and I could have sworn he was gonna say it. Real letdown. But the main reason you're gonna go watch this is because of cool fucking car chases and car race scenes and stuff. They are awesome. Like, I gotta admit, this movie's a cheese fest, right? But the last half, like, I don't know, like 20 to 30 minutes was really intense, actually. Like, I was hooked and I wanted Aaron Paul to fucking win.
In the last car chase of this film, it finally figures out what movie to be.
Yeah.
And then you stop laughing ironically and you're really into the race and you're like, go, kick his ass, man. And it starts to work. And that's kind of what's so awesome about this movie is that it's so silly for most of it. And I get the sense that the movie is okay with that.
Yeah.
It's trying too hard, but in a really endearing way.
Great finale chasing. It's totally worth it just for that. I'm glad I saw this in the theaters to have seen that particular scene.
It's effortlessly enjoyable.
I like this film,
do
and
too.
I recommend you watch it.
Please do.
Watch it, because you're gonna have a good time.
Get some
Now-
buddies together, have a beer, you're gonna have a good time.
Now, if you're some stuck-up, annoying douchebag filmmaker who's like, well, technically, here's how a movie should be constructed, and here's how this scene should go.
Yeah, it's not for you.
It's not for you, okay? Stay in film school and enjoy not liking movies. This film is just entertainment, man. Even for its like, yeah, flaws, whatever. Here's my point. The flaws are part of why you should watch this movie.
Yeah, it's like any reason I could give not to see this is like they just slide right over into the reasons to see column because like everything about this movie is perfectly this movie.
Okay, so I guess after this awesome discussion we just had, it's time to give you a breakdown of reasons to see this movie. So I'd say reason to see number one, Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, yeah. Totally.
I'm gonna go with Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton above it.
Reason to see number two, I'd have to say the car sequence. Yeah.
Oh, cars, yeah.
Car scenes are pretty
go
good.
with cars.
Yeah, the car sequences are awesome.
Yeah.
What'd you say part three is?
I would go for Aaron Paul for part 3.
Aaron Paul's pretty cool. Aaron Paul's pretty awesome. Reason to see number four, I'd have to say it's just a great cheese fest.
Yeah.
It's one hell of a cheese fest, and it's awesome to watch. Encompassing a lot of the acting,
Yeah.
the editing, the score. So it's like anything you would say about this movie that's technically bad, I'm including that as that's why you gotta watch
Yeah,
this
exactly.
movie. What makes it entertaining. So those are probably the main 4 reasons to check this film out.
Yeah.
Alright guys, thanks for checking out our review for Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Why don't you scroll to that comment box below this video and tell us what's your favorite car action chase movie, whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and then when you're done with that, come on over here and click this button if that's where it's gonna be.
I think it's gonna be in the center now.
Alright, yeah. So
We're still figuring out the new set.
click here and you can see more episodes of Reasons to See.
Last but not least, if you want to get updated every time one of our videos or reviews is out, subscribe, man, so you can hear us talk more about Awesome Possum, Lady Blossom, Buttercup, Blossom, Bubbles.
Yeah, there you go.
Bubbles. Yeah. Powerpuff Girls. That's what we're referencing.
Chemical X.
Yeah.
Sugar, spice, and everything
Everything
nice.
nice.
These were the secret ingredients to create the perfect little girls.
The Powerpuff Girls.
But something got fucked up and Chemical X.
Yeah.
And then the Powerpuff Girls. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Bojo Jojo.
The Powerpuff Girls were born. That's part of it.
I liked that show.
I did too. That was a show that a lot of dudes were like afraid to admit at the time.
No, it was a cool show.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was always into that show.
See, you're getting 2 reviews in 1 episode.
The city of Townsville.
Townsville, that's what we used to say all the time.
Yeah.